This is a special presentation from the Brighton Central School District PTSA.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome, friends, to the annual PTSA Lifetime Membership Awards Ceremony. We appreciate you coming out and spending this time honoring these well-deserved members of our community. The Honorary Life Membership is one of the highest honors that the PTSA can bestow to recognize individuals who've shown outstanding dedication and service to our children. In Brighton, we have been presenting this award to individuals since 1935. For each award given, the PTSA makes a donation to the New York State Jenkins Memorial Scholarship Fund, which then assists students in preparing for the teaching profession. Each year, PTSA creates a committee to read all of the nominations submitted for this award. Every year that I've had the privilege of being on this committee, I've had to bring along a pack of tissues as I read through all the heartfelt letters written by coworkers, administration, parents, and especially those little young students whose lives have been changed by these professionals. This year was no different. It's always a challenge to decide who will be awarded winners, as all the nominees are clearly worthy. That being said, this year's award winners are Assistant Superintendent for Administration Lou Alimo, Council Rock first grade teacher Liz Files, and Council Rock special education teacher Jenny Robinson. I'd like to present each of you with a PTSA Lifetime Award pin, a letter from our PTSA president, and a compilation of all the nomination letters that were submitted on your behalf. And like I said, please be prepared with tissues when you read the letters that were written about you, especially the ones from your little students. At this time, I would like to invite Mark Henretta to come up along with Jenny Robinson.
See, I'm not used to being up on stage. I feel much more comfortable down there. Guess I'm glad to go first because I don't want to get down by the other people, so you can get a little bit bored with me, and then the bar will only be risen as we go through the evening. No, I had to think long and hard about how to start this. I mean, how do you introduce someone who is described as a child whisperer? How do you start talking about someone whose parents and teachers describe them with the words magical, amazing, and awesome? Well, after thinking about things, I thought about sharing some funny stories about Jenny over the last 18 years. I approached my coworker, Pam Likely, tried to get some good stories. Two of us had some good laughs, said, no, those stories aren't going to work. So after working with Jenny for 18 years, I thought, probably not a good idea to start out with some stories that I thought were funny about her. So I opted for a different path. I mean, sharing some of those private stories, not going to get me on Jenny's good side. And if you know Jenny, you don't want to be on the bad side. So rather, I decided to take a different direction. I want you all to think about the following. And what do these following have in common? The movie The Incredibles, Ugg boots, the TV show Friends, Facebook, NCAA basketball champions, the Uconn Huskies. Pam, that's for you. Interesting list of things, right? Well, I know you're probably thinking they're all relevant to Jenny in some way since I'm up here talking about Jenny. You'd be right a little bit. Maybe you're thinking that they're all things that she likes. You look at the list and you say to yourself, Incredibles. Yeah, probably describes Jenny, especially if you read the letters that were written about her. You might think she's someone who loves to wear Ugg boots. After all, if you've seen her on some days, she does enjoy some comfortable shoes. Not Uggs today, but Ugg-looking flats. You might think Friends. That's a pretty good quality, and if you know Jenny, she's an awesome friend. Those of us that are lucky enough to call her friends knows that she is definitely a loyal friend and someone that's good to be around. The next one, Facebook. Yeah, that seems a little off. When I think of Jenny, I don't think of Facebook. She doesn't really seem like someone that would be on there, but I will tell you secretly, although she will deny this, if I ever have to find out anything about anything on Facebook, I go to Jenny. Finally, Uconn Huskies. Yeah, there's a good one. That throws a real wrench in your ideas about who Jenny really is, or what those words mean about her. We all know she isn't much of a basketball fan, and if there's any doubt, just look at the standings. Every year, from the Council Rock March Madness Campership Basketball Tournament, she has somehow managed to be at the bottom almost every year. Consistency, right? That's one thing you think about Jenny. She is consistent. But how can someone do that year after year? It's almost statistically impossible to pick things like that. You're going to hear many good things about Jenny. Picking basketball teams, not one of them. Anyways, I digress. I better get back to the list. Those things either debuted, were popular in, or in the Huskies' case, won in 2004. 2004, an important year in Brighton. It's the year that Jenny started at Council Rock. I've been fortunate to work directly with Jenny every year since she started Council Rock. She's been a stabilizing force in our building, working to support children and their families. She's helped countless children overcome difficulties with learning, emotional regulation, and challenging behaviors. Jenny would have you believe that her success is simple, and it's under these simple things. She would have you believe that having people understand that she's always right, and that it's her way or the highway are the ways to get things done. Her kids could probably attest to both of those things. If you've worked with Jenny in any capacity, you learn to understand those things pretty quickly as well. She makes that point with me daily. It's my way or the highway, and I'm always right. Although to some casual observers, Jenny's approach may seem a bit firm at times, anyone that's been in her classroom knows that the basis of her success is on the relationship she develops with her students. Jenny understands the importance of making sure that she develops strong relationships with her students. She knows that this is only done by having an overabundance of positive interactions with her students, sharing in their successes, and just as important, being there and believing in their ability to overcome challenging times. So yes, Jenny, you are always right, except when you're wrong, which is happening more and more. And yes, it is always your way or the highway, until you need to change the highway that you're on to meet the students and the family on the road that they're taking. And then you always find a way to make your magic work on their road. Over the years, I've had countless families talk about her classroom as the first time a child has experienced any success in school. They've shared that her classroom is the first time their child has talked about school at home. They've shared that her classroom is the first time that their child has felt any sense of belonging at school. Every year, Jenny creates an environment that supports children to reach their highest potential. 3 themes drive Jenny's classroom, and you only have to visit it once to understand the importance of these themes. Was I safe? Did I follow directions? And was I friendly? Are 3 questions that Jenny asks a child after almost every activity in her classroom. By asking these questions after each activity, she has a child reflect not only on how they're doing in the activity, but it allows her the opportunities to have conversations with each child and provide support and feedback, but more importantly, to have them reflect about their behaviors and their performance. In looking over the letters of support for Jenny, the words above and beyond go the extra distance with children were very common. Letters included statements like, she develops a trusting relationship with my child when others could not. She helps children cope with challenges. She's a constant driving force to assure my child that he could do whatever task was set before him. Letters from students included statements like, she's helped me with my frustration. She taught me math. She taught me kindness. She helps me stay calm. She helps me stay focused. And she helps me learn to share with my friends. These statements not only reflect Jenny's ability to teach students academics, but just as important, her dedication to helping them learn to participate and contribute to a classroom community. Her commitment doesn't just stop with children. She's extremely dedicated to supporting families in their child's education. A long time ago, Jenny started writing emails to a few families in her program, mainly to make sure that she can convey what was happening in their day. She wanted to make sure there was an accurate picture of not only the successes, but also how that child overcame challenges that they experienced in school. After some prompting, I might add from a very kind and smart social worker, Jenny very quickly changed that from just a few parents to all the parents in her program and has continued that process over the years. It's an integral part of the way she works with families. One parent shared that they were floored by the amount of communication with tips to help as well as strategies to help prepare their child for school each day. Another parent shared that her communication was the first time he had heard any positive things about his daughter, and it occurred on a daily basis. Another parent could not believe that any teacher would communicate and provide that level of detailed information daily. To do this every day at the end of a school day and still be able to reflect not only on the challenges that happened, but on the successes that a child had throughout the day is remarkable. Yes, remarkable. That's what parents, students, and coworkers think about Jenny Robinson. What amazes me most is not only does Jenny believe that all children she supports can be successful, but more importantly, she's able to create an environment that helps children believe that they can be successful and in turn are successful at school. It is my honor to present Jenny Robinson for the PTSA Lifetime Membership Award.
All my stuff down. Thank you for all of those kind words. That is very flattering and more than I deserve. So from the time I started teaching in Brighton, I viewed the people who won this award as the people who really knew how to do their job and the people that I really admired and the people who really go above and beyond. I don't think of myself as being in that category at all. I don't think I do anything special that anybody couldn't do, but I am beyond flattered that my coworkers do and that the families and the students do. And now to be part of this group is just surreal to me. And people that know me know I'm not terribly good with technology, which also then involves checking emails. So being given this honor took me completely by surprise as I got a message from a family saying congratulations on winning the award. And my response was, I didn't win any award. What are you talking about? And I said that award is for people that work really hard, that are amazing at what they do. And then I did find out that there was an email and went back and checked it, and sure enough. So obviously I'm still in shock and still in awe and just beside myself. I believe things happen for a reason. Life plays out the way it's supposed to. And in my mind, this profession chose me. I never really decided to be a teacher. I was not one of those people that knew as a kid that I'd grow up to do this. I majored in education because I didn't know what else to do, and everybody else in Geneseo was doing it then too, so I was like, okay. And naively thought, wow, these classes look really easy, I might as well do this. However, I was way off on that. But little did I know that that kind of flippant decision would lead me to one of the most rewarding aspects of my life. And then every teaching opportunity I had after college was in special education. So again, I thought, well, I might as well get the degree. And once I was in my first permanent job with kids with emotional disorders, I knew that I was doing what the universe had planned for me. Never imagining in a million years it would lead me to Brighton and the great team of people that I get to work with every day. At one point, though, I did think, oh, the grass must be greener in another 12-1 program. And I left thinking, oh, I'm getting too old to do this. But it wasn't. I missed my students, the team, and all the unique challenges that each year brought. So I went back as soon as I could to where I was meant to be. I love what I do. I cannot imagine doing anything else. And every day, I look forward to coming to school and working with my students and the team, hoping that I'm able to do for someone else's child what I would want for my own child in the same situation. I never know day to day or even moment to moment what the day will bring, but one thing I can count on is that along with the students, the teaching assistants, and the team, we will laugh, sometimes almost cry, but not quite, have fun, and enjoy watching the kids grow and succeed. Everything about this job, though, is a group effort. It is the team and the people surrounding me that allow me to do the work with the students that I am passionate about. I could not do any of it without the support of my own children, the teaching assistants, the families, the classroom teachers, support staff, and administrators. All of these people have stuck with me through rough days, long days, whatever crazy plans I wanted to put in place, no matter how far-fetched it was, how much work it involved. So thank you for allowing me to come to Council Rock every day and do what I love.
Congratulations again, Jenny. Well deserved. Next, I'd like to call Katelyn Baker and Liz Files.
Well, Mark wanted to go first because he was concerned about going after me, but I don't know about that. And I have to also mention that Mark helped me nominate Liz, and his letter was far longer than mine. So I can tell you my time up here will be a little more concise than Mark's, but I also want to take the opportunity to congratulate my friend and colleague, Jenny Robinson. I had the pleasure of starting my teaching career at Council Rock, working with her for the first 2 years, and we had some really interesting times together that were very fun, but well deserved. So congratulations, Jenny. I'm not going to start by just diving into my letter, because I have to mention before or actually after I wrote this letter, we went on a field trip last week. And we went to Powder Mills Park, and on the way to the park, Matt Tappan called Liz on the bus and said, I have one of your students here. And what? Well, right away, she calls up the parents. You're not gonna believe this. We're about to pull into Powder Mills Park, and guess where your child is? I also have to mention that family helped me to nominate Liz tonight, and they are also here, so thank you very much, Cummins family. Thank you, guys. If Finn is here in the building, Mr. Tappan, if you could just mark him present. That just says a lot, though, about the kind of person and teacher Liz is, that experience would be one that really would just, oh my goodness, let's get Finn to the park. But, so just a little something I wanted to share before I read my nomination letter for Liz. It is my absolute honor to nominate Council Rock first grade teacher Liz Files for a PTSA Honorary Life Membership Award. It truly surprises me that her name hasn't been brought forth for consideration prior to this, because Liz exemplifies everything that Brighton and the institution of education as a whole look for in an educator. Liz has been a primary teacher at Council Rock for nearly all of her 2 decades of teaching. She is sought after again and again by parents who want their children to win the lottery and have that magical year with Mrs. Files. We have some lottery winners in the audience as well. Yeah, there they are. She has taught entire families of children and quickly becomes a member of their family for life. When parents get that letter in August and her name is on it, they immediately feel comforted, knowing their children are about to be taught by a person who will show them such love and compassion and provide them with lasting memories through her dynamic teaching style. When I reached out to some of her parents to have them support this nomination, one parent said that the only downside of having Liz for a teacher is that no other teacher will ever compare thereafter. My response, try being her teaching partner. True story. Some people were custom designed for their profession, and Liz is clearly one of them. She is that teacher you remember for the rest of your life. The one who cared enough to be your champion and your cheerleader while teaching you indelible lessons. I wish my own children got the Mrs. Files experience, but I'm grateful they at least get to have it outside of the classroom with her. Everyone should have a Liz in their lives. Liz walks fast, always on a mission. She moves with determination, and if you want to walk beside her, you'd better keep up. She's got things to do, people to see, places to go. I can recognize when she is walking down the hall by the sound of her pace and the sound of her loud, boisterous voice and laugh. When Liz arrives, you know everything is taken care of. and you're about to feel happier. She makes our school the place where people, big and small, want to spend their day, and that is so important to her and to us. I have seen Liz go to bat for numerous causes and people for whom others wouldn't devote their time and energy. She goes all in. She is a fierce advocate, making sure every student is receiving the exact education, love, and support he or she deserves. She communicates with clarity while also being accessible. It sounds like I'm writing you like a report card comment, but I've done a few of those. Her sense of humor sets her apart and adds needed levity to difficult situations. She has a way of creating ease where it didn't exist before. Hers is the ear everyone seeks out, no matter the situation. Not only does she stand up for kids and their families, she shows her unwavering support to her colleagues as well, many of whom are here tonight. People always come to Liz to bounce off ideas, get reassurance, ask questions, get answers, and just be able to breathe a sigh of relief. I know this is a lot for her to shoulder, but you'd never know, because she will always make time for you, even if it means she doesn't eat her lunch that day or stays up late into the night sending emails and writing plans. A natural leader, Liz has served as our first grade team leader for the past 4 years, 2 years beyond her expected term, volunteering to continue in that capacity when no one else was willing to step up and fill that role. When 2020 hit and our world changed dramatically, we knew there was only one person we trusted to lead us through the unknown, and she has done that with such expertise. It is hard for us to imagine anyone else taking the helm, and we will greatly miss her leadership in this capacity. As her teaching partner and also her friend, I have come to rely on her and trust her completely. She is dependable, thorough, and always open to change and growth. The two of us decided to embark on the uncharted adventure of remote teaching last year together, and I wouldn't have felt nearly as empowered to take that leap had I not been doing it with her. We reflect on past plans but don't remain married to them, and she's always looking for ways to elevate her teaching. She is constantly finding means to improve her practice through research, professional development, and collaborating with her peers. If I haven't made it abundantly evident by now, I'm a big fan of Liz Files. She makes me a better teacher and human being through both collaboration and osmosis. In fact, I moved across the hall to be in an adjoining classroom so that our desks are right next to one another because I just couldn't get close enough, apparently. Brighton wins big with her every day, and so do I. She is so deserving of this distinguished honor. Thank you for affording me the opportunity to recognize her in this way. It is my pleasure to provide her with this award tonight.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I am absolutely humbled and honored to receive this award. Thank you so much to those of you who took time and energy to write nomination letters, and for all of you here tonight who came to show support for Lou, Jenny, and I. Thank you to you, Katelyn, my work wife, and Boo, for orchestrating this incredible nomination. You recognize, belly breath, you recognize my strengths, match, and possibly exceed my desire for organization, and you definitely keep my crazy very sane. Thank you to my administrators, colleagues, my FEFs, and all those who make the wheels grind daily at Council Rock. I stand up here on behalf of us all because this job takes a village, and you are all a part of my village. There's something incredibly special about Brighton, but even more so about Council Rock Primary School. I've been blessed to work with so many incredible educators, far too long a list to name, but I would be remiss if I didn't recognize my current team who helps hold the fort down or raise it up. Shari Blaustein, Carol Brick, and Steph Anderson. Thank you to my family, who forever and always supports me and pushes me to be my best version of myself. To my parents for supporting every step of my desire to be a teacher, which includes the vintage chalkboard hung in our basement when I was little to help create a classroom I could teach in. And to my sister, who fought hard to be the teacher of that said classroom, but always ended up as the student. Mary, you've gifted me with an incredible niece, nephew, and brother-in-law. He's the bald one, right there. Yeah. Who I have learned so much from. To my husband, Adam, for listening to my school stories, which are always told in a teacher voice, are way too long, and typically end with, so to make a long story short, and you do this without judgment and offer a very calming advice. And to my sweet, spunky, and sassy Molassy daughters, Charlie and Josie, your wonder, your drive, your creativity is what motivates me every day. You are strong girls, and you make me so very proud to be your mom. Finally, thank you to the families and students of our classroom, both current and alum. You are the reason I am here. For real, if you've ever spent 1 hour in a first grade classroom, you either leave before the door hits you on the way out, or you stay forever. I chose to stay, at least until I see how next year's class rolls in. Yes, there are days in this profession where you want to call in and say, sorry, I won't be in today, the dog ate my car. Because, let's be honest, the amount of prep, the number of meetings, the politics, the constant change during a pandemic, the ever-increasing demands on educators, the community, or communicating, the pay, definitely not the community, the communicating, the pay, none of this is why anyone stays. So you ask, why stay? Kids in the audience, would you please stand up? So you are my why, each and every one of you. You are the future of our world. Everyone, look how beautiful and bright our future is. There is no other profession that allows you to see the magical moment when a child decodes her first word, when you find the missing link for a child who needs may not match the norm, when you can provide a hug for a child that might need to be handled with care on a Monday morning, when you can watch a child imagine and construct a complex roller coaster using only straws and index cards, when you walk into your desk in the morning, this very morning in fact, to find a handwritten note on the backside of a business card from a student that you had in 2005. No other profession allows you to open a picture book and connect children to parts of life that they didn't realize they could connect to, or advocate for a child whose family may not know how to, or use the Bill's Shout song to silence a classroom. Hey, hey. You also might not be able to ever teach about volcanoes erupting or boogie ghosts, which are really code for be quiet and quit picking your nose, use a tissue. This job also allows you to laugh when a ball seat pops by way of a pencil tip pressing into it and the child slowly falling to the ground. And then their sibling comes to your class and the same thing happens. Or when you listen to a child share that their mom's nickname at home is Tutor because she has loud farts. This is my why. In my family, we reference my mom as the word queen. She has more words and sayings posted around her home than anyone we know. Turns out I may also be a word queen. I'm big on quotes. And since many tend to end their time speaking to an audience with a quote, I'll use this opportunity to do the same. But first, you need a little backstory. Remember the whole make a long story short? Not very good at it. It wouldn't be right to end without a shout out to my own teachers. I was blessed with so many incredible educators, and in many ways, their influence can be seen in my classroom now. One of those teachers, Mr. Hargrave, would write a quote on the chalkboard each day for our class to reflect on. Sometimes he picked quotes to share on his own, but often he would collect quotes from students. They always made me wonder, always made me smile, and left me with new perspective. So fast forward to now. Each day in our first grade classroom, we start our morning meeting with a quote of the day. It is profound what the children come up with as they reflect on the meeting at just 6 and 7 years of age. But even better, something magical happened with this year's class. Students started bringing in quotes of their own to share. One of the first I received was, "Get her done, and you'll have fun." Awesome quote, but possibly not the best to culminate this speech. So, in gratitude, I leave you with a quote written by Sam Maddox, first grade student in my class this year. "Leave your worries behind and try and find happiness for you and others." I found my happiness right here in first grade. Thank you all for such an honor. Your quote? Thank you.
So was I right about the tissues or what? And finally, Larry Davis, if you could please join me up here to introduce Lou Alimo.
AC, Mike, AC.
Before we begin, I do want to thank Sangeeta and the PTSA for hosting and sponsoring this event and this award. Thank you very much. Comfortable? Good. These types of assignments are the most fun for volunteers. There are so many great things going on in this district, and that's largely because we have so many great people working here. Tonight, we get to learn a little bit more about 3 of them. So we'll end the evening with Lou, Assistant Superintendent for Administration. Assistant Superintendent for Administration. Sounds like a boring job title. In truth, it does a really poor job of describing what Lou actually does and his tremendous impact on students, staff, and the Brighton community. There were over a dozen letters of support for Lou's nomination for the Life Membership Award. For those that know him and work with him, that's not at all surprising. In reviewing these letters of support, there are some very clear recurring themes: honesty, integrity, work ethic. Lou is a person that was raised by really good people. Lou's desire to sincerely get to know people, or as we talk about in Brighton, to always make personal connections. His ability to ask reflective, tough questions on challenging issues. And this too. Lou strongly dislikes being in the limelight, which honestly makes this task a little bit more fun. There were so many letters, we decided to take a few quotes from some of these letters, and I'm just going to read you from a few of them because there was too many to read from all of them. So here's a few direct quotes. While talking about funding might not seem as touching as some of the heartfelt stories you hear about how some of our teachers or staff directly impact our children's lives, funding forms the backbone of the work others can do in our district. Or, there is real work to be done in the realm of DEI. What I admired most in Lou was his ability to ask reflective and meaningful questions. Lou has brought a sense of pride in today's facilities department. We have learned that every staff member's opinion matters, all ideas are on the table, and that great accomplishments only happen if we work as a team. Lou stands side by side with his colleagues and team members. It is not uncommon to find Lou jumping in to help direct traffic on opening day, running over to a building to help count and hand out COVID tests, joining in a cafeteria line to pass out pizza during senior night, or as during our COVID closure when he handed out breakfast and lunch daily with the food service team. While he could easily manage each of his departments from his office, he takes the time to go out into the buildings and get to know the folks on the front lines. He knows the name and story of every person on the food service team. He makes it a point to say hello to everyone when he goes into a building. He fosters the ideal of the Brighton family. The Monroe County School Board Association uses Lou in their countywide new school board member training. It's always a point of pride for us as Brighton school board members when we are at a training that Lou is providing to turn to other school board members, other school district board members, and simply say, he's ours. What you just heard is a small sample of the recognition Lou received from the community in the letters of support for his nomination. It's also important to recognize Lou's family, especially his wife and 3 daughters. They have a wonderful husband and father and loan him to Brighton to accomplish all of his amazing work you just heard about. We thank you for sharing Lou with us. Now please join me in congratulating Lou on earning and winning the Life Membership Award for the Brighton PTSA.
Thank you. And I'd just like to acknowledge the catwalk. Larry Davis made sure that we had that as part of our capital project, so it will be forever named. So first, I'd like to thank the PTSA and the selection committee for this recognition. I know you get many awe-inspiring recommendations, and I am honored to be selected this evening. Brighton has the most passionate and dedicated families that always strive for the best for their children. You are tireless and passionate advocates that, as a father, I sincerely respect and appreciate. So thank you. To Liz and Jenny, congratulations. Liz, by all accounts, you are described as the most caring person anyone has ever worked with. Jenny, you are an amazing special educator who is so impactful to your students. I'm honored to be recognized alongside 2 outstanding educators. You are 2 very special people, so deserving of this honor. Congratulations. So it's important to note, just for a side note, I can see this, but when I look out there, I see all blur with my glasses on. So if I'm trying to look at somebody and make eye contact, know that I'm trying to, but. So I have attended 10 of these events now and have been so inspired by the past recipients. Silently, I aspired, as I hope that anyone who attends this event does, to earn this recognition during my career at Brighton. It has always been a personal goal that I would never think to articulate. I say personal goal intentionally, as this is not a recognition you apply for or audition for. What makes this so special is the very secretive nomination process that allows people to share their reflections and perspectives of the contribution a person has made on our school community. So to all my work family, and especially those that dedicated their time and energy to write such kind, heartfelt words, thank you for allowing me to play a role in contributing to your love of this district and the careers that you have chosen. I am so blessed to be on a team with such an inspiring superintendent, dedicated and compassionate Board of Education, bright and talented administrators, an amazing support service team who are such good people and who work so hard behind the scenes to make this such a great district. While this is very, very uncomfortable for me to be up here talking about feelings and stuff instead of my beloved numbers, it is heartwarming to know that I have made a small positive impact on the people I care so deeply about and to the system that has allowed me to have such a rewarding career. The business official is supposed to be the Darth Vader of the district. I am supposed to be the no guy. So this recognition, while very much appreciated, really makes me question how good I am at that role. So as I conclude with my thank yous, I want to acknowledge all the people that wrote the letters for me, Mr. Davis, but especially I'd like to acknowledge Julian Gilbert, who I understand started this. Thank you for your mentorship and leadership. You have always been so supportive of me individually and have always provided such great advice to help in my success here at Brighton. So thank you, Julian. There you go, I can see you. Most importantly, thank you to my wife and my daughters for your endless patience and support. This career requires some long days and nights, and you are always so supportive and allow me to allow me to do what I generally love doing. So thank you for your patience, your kindness, your understanding. I love yous very much. And lastly, to my parents, for your love and support and encouragement, and particularly to my father. Many of the attributes shared in the nomination are a direct result of your influence. Throughout my life, I have observed your selfless actions and your gift of always making others feel loved, respected, and important in every moment of the time that you spend with them. This recognition gives me a little bit of hope that this apple has not fallen too far from that tree. So again, thank you to everybody, and congratulations to Jenny and to Liz.
Once again, congratulations to all of our winners this evening. And I would like to thank everyone here for joining us, but I'd like to say a special thank you to Mike Leaner and his fabulous crew for all the setup and for the lighting and the sound and making it all happen. Thank you, Mike. And also a special thank you to Dan Goldman. No explanation needed, just for being Dan Goldman and taking care of everything for us, Dan. So thank you very much. Much appreciated, both of you. Once again, thank you everyone for coming, and please continue the celebration with our winners in the hallway with some refreshments. Thank you.
This has been a special presentation from the Brighton Central School District's PTSA.